Realm of the Mad God is a 15-year-old game with a rich history of development, transformation for better or for worse, and games that its success has inspired that you'd find super interesting. But it's also had its scandals, bugs, and deep dark secrets. Like for example when players could spawn admin items, or when Oryx committed SA. You would not believe many of these entries, especially that last one. I did make a previous Realm of the Mad God Iceberg that you can check out after this video. I'll have it linked down below, but there's so many controversial topics to cover in Realm that it was more than enough to make an even deeper iceberg that we'll go through together today. Before we get started, did you know you can use code sebchoof on Realm's new website to get 10% more Realm Gold and support the content? Also, we're approaching 50k subscribers, so join our journey and subscribe today. It will be an insane milestone to reach. Let's get things rolling. Does anyone know what Arena is? Arena was an alternative game mode where you could fight hordes of enemies. It was a lot of fun. It used to be in the top left where the Hall of Fame was, but I actually wasn't the biggest fan of Arena. I don't know about you guys. I wasn't the biggest fan. It took so long for it to start get interesting, so I wasn't the biggest fan of it. If people liked it, then that's cool. It can get really cursed, especially because there were enemies that put permanent lava in the arena if you didn't kill them fast enough. Oh, I didn't realize that this was so similar to Admin Arena with the people on the sides chanting. I didn't realize that they had those guys as well. He's 23 minutes in, and it's only starting to get interesting. Let's see what the next one is. We got RotMG Roblox. I've been covering this game quite a bit recently. Yeah, it's called Pixel Quest, and it's basically a Realm of the Mad God on Roblox. It fell off in players quite a lot, but it's better than ever because they added I still need to play this, by the way. They literally have a game mode for Gauntlet in-game. So you know how we did the Darkness Dominion Gauntlet, and you know how we did many Realm of the Mad God Gauntlets? It's literally in the game. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I recommend. It's probably my least favorite Realm-like game, to be honest. They have a weekly, I don't know if it's weekly anymore, but they do like a weekly Gauntlet kind of thing, where there was many players that started in this arena, and the last alive gets like rewards. Yeah, this is free. This is free. It's a free game on Roblox. It's free! But yeah, I gotta play again. I gotta play again sometime. Okay, next one, Legacy Shadows. If you haven't played in the Flash era, I mean, it was mostly the Flash era. It existed in the Exalt era a bit, but Shadows used to be completely different. And a lot of people miss it a lot. I do miss a lot of aspects of old Shadows. I'll show you. What do I miss about old Shadows? Actually, I don't know what I miss about old Shadows, to be honest. But basically, this is more what it looks like. It had a more colorful theme to it, I think. I miss how much more colorful it was. The new one is more dark, and the old one is less skill reliant. There was a lot of safe spots you could abuse. Like, I'll show you. This could have been such a better dungeon if they just patched the safe spots. Like, this is one of the safe spots. People just stood here to avoid the shots from this tower. And then there's another one with the boss where they just stood next to the boss in a specific place. And then, yeah, old Shadows got pretty boring, but before the power creep, it was actually a lot of fun. And rushing this was so much fun, holy rushing this was as fun as Lost Halls, maybe. The only thing I prefer about the old Shadows is this second clear, because you could rush it, which was a lot of fun. You can't really rush the current second clear. But yeah, this is the old second boss, pretty interesting. How different it used to look. This is the Twilight Archmage. I'm sure you guys remember the lava maze if you have done this before. People used to walk across the lava to skip clearing, but I guess by this point people were so OP that lava walk wasn't too important anyway. They just needed to tweak this dungeon and it would have been a lot better, because it's the safe spots that made it the most lame. But yeah, this is people doing the lava walk. Crazy times. This is a speedrun lava walk. Look at them go. Oh, they're all priests, that's why. This is pre-sebchoof webcam days. That's when you know this is OG. This is like 7 years ago. Holy shit. But yeah, this used to be so much fun to rush. Basically as fun, almost as fun as Lost Halls. I would say just under. Because there's 3 different switches, and each different switch offers different challenges when you rush them. They're pretty similar because it's the same enemies. But yeah, and I used to be so good at it. So it's a lot of skill learned gone down the drain. Feels bad, man. Next, we got Deca streams. Guys, did you know Deca actually used to have official streams? They were so troll. They did quite a few of them. It was at the very least 10, and it was mostly by the old community manager, Wotan.
Vindication.
And another guy called Jendi that left recently. But yeah, the streams were so scuffed. There was some... It was just like really frame rate the whole time. By the way, this video, I don't know why it's on their YouTube, but in this video, she gets lost in the wine cellar.
Well, we wish COVID would... And yes, meeting you guys would also be great.
That would be very nice to do some in-person events if possible. That would be really cool.
Let's keep on dreaming.
Let's keep on dreaming, exactly. But it would be cool.
You know, guys, I got lost here in the wine cellar.
But yeah, this is how it used to be, basically. They barely played the game. They were always invincible, just popping dungeons for the community.
Very good to see you back.
This is unedited, by the way.
I'm pretty excited.
So, first of all, guys, please tell us that we don't look like a slideshow. Everything is fine with the sound and with the image?
And yeah, look, he's got the blue shield on him, which means he's invincible. He's just playing with invincibility the whole time. But yeah, I guess you can argue this is a good thing. These streamers were good, I guess. Do you guys think it was worth the time for them? I don't know if either of them ever played without invincibility on these streams. It was pretty troll. Next we have /pause. Guys, did you know you used to be able to pause in Realm of the Mad God? You used to be able to become invincible in any dungeon. It was pretty crazy, and people used to use this to leech big time, including me. But yeah, look, he does it here. He types /pause. He's at the tomb, and yeah, now he can just wait for people to clear the socks. I couldn't find a better video of it, but yeah, that's what it looks like. And yeah, oh yeah, it also used to pause the loot buffs. Yeah, they took away pause quite long ago. I think before Exalt. It was during Flash that they took away pause. But yeah, that's about it to say about that. People used to use this all the time. And yeah, Realm frame rate used to go hard. Crystal clear water used to be a meme where crystal used to be something that people used to love a lot to clear. I don't know, do people care about crystal anymore? I don't think they do. But this is what crystal is, if you didn't know. It's a rare spawn in the abandoned city biome, and it used to actually be really hard to pop. So everyone used to call for the crystal because there's a set amount of damage it needs to take. 15,000 DPS. But yeah, people used to do trolls, like they would do this, like they would type crystal and then space it out so much and it would say clear water over here. So they weren't lying. They were calling people to the water. People would call crystal clear water and they would like get you stuck into buildings. But yeah, there's countless memes of crystal clear water. And to start off the second layer, we have Telos Realms. Does anyone know what that is? I don't, but we're gonna discover it together. Telos Realms is a Minecraft private server which will probably impress you big time, because it's basically Realm of the Mad God on Minecraft. Look, this is literally free. It is actually so cool. I need to play this more. I've only played it once. I've been meaning to play it more, but it's really impressive what they achieved. And it's really cool because it looks 3D, but it's actually a 2D game because the jumping... Wait, is there jumping in this? I think there might be jumping, but like, it's basically 2D because it's on the plane. By the way, the dev was giving me invincibility so I could actually live through all these boss fights because it was my first try and I just wanted to experience all of them and show them all off. A gauntlet in this game would go hard. This eye thing is crazy. When does it change forms? Yeah, look at this second form it puts you in. Yeah, look, it makes you go here. It's cursed. I didn't know how to dodge this, but I think you have to, yeah, you have to stay... I don't understand what you're supposed to do. I think you have to stay in the square, because every time my screen shakes, it means I'm taking damage. I didn't know what the f I was doing. I might have died here. I may have died here. I may have died here. May. May is the key word. Oh, what? I'll send you guys the IP to the private server if you guys are keen to play. Next, we're gonna talk about RotMG, because Revenge of the Fallen, even though it's a private server, deserves a lot of praise, because not only was it extremely popular, I never actually got around to trying it, by the way. I was a Realm Glazer at the time, and now I definitely can't try any private servers because I'm a Deca partner. But this was a private server back in the day that supposedly had more players than Realm of the Mad God at one point. A lot of the famous players from Realm, like Benji Fishy, Zekken, played this. Obviously, obviously it's very similar to Realm because it's a private server. There's many things that made this extremely popular. They had really cool rare items and they had skill trees in this game. Yeah, skill tree. You could make an insane amount of builds. Like for example, there was like a tanky bulwark build or something. I don't know the details. What else made Revenge of the Fallen extremely popular, guys? They had a really awesome endgame dungeon as well. It was called like Necropolis or something. The reason why it ended is so dumb. One of the developers behind this private server, for some reason, reached out to Deca Games asking if they could use their sprites. So I think Deca Games didn't even know Revenge of the Fallen existed, but I guess that was the perfect opportunity to hit him with a cease and desist, which is what they did. But private servers, you can argue, are good for Realm of the Mad God because they have their own ideas that Deca can adopt, which they have in the past, like transparency, having the potion storage. Yeah, honestly, if Deca had a brain, they should actually hire the devs that make these servers successful. This leads on to the next part of the iceberg, which is Beneath the Nexus, which is a standalone game that the Revenge of the Fallen devs were actually working on. This was really sick. This was a project for related to Realm of the Mad God, which I actually played on stream. That was very, 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 very anticipated. This is from like 5 years ago, but yeah, this is what Beneath the Nexus looked like. It did look a bit scuffed in the realm. I liked how, colorful it was. There was a lot of placeholder stuff. Like, they weren't actually gonna have this UI. They were gonna have more of an Enter the Gungeon-esque UI. This was the best dungeon. It was so cool. Look how 3D this game was. It was so cool. I want to show you guys a good amount of this footage because, man, I wish they returned to this. I wish they returned to making this. I'll explain why they stopped making it in a sec. Yeah, look, there's a skill tree, which is really cool. Most of the skill trees are like stats, like with the regular. Oh yeah, you would find items that you drag into the nodes. I want to see if I hover the skills so you can see them. But this one was extremely cool because the buffs that you can get are game-changing. Like, they literally decide your character. Hold on, let me find the video now. Imagine getting 1,000 more HP in Realm. It would be something like that. And there was, like, augments for your weapon. So, like, you would start shooting boomerang shots. Adrenaline Rush. Consecutive projectiles hits on enemies increase your dex by 1, stacking up to 30 times. Missing a projectile causes you to lose 10 stacks instantly. Okay, this one's another interesting one. By the way, these are... you have to find the items to slot them in. So multi-shot projectiles merge, becoming a single shot. So, what's it called? You would, like, shoot multiple shots that converge inwards, and you can use this on any weapon. And you would have increased projectile speed, but lose dex proportional to the number of projectiles merged. Block 15% of incoming projectiles. 12% chance to reflect incoming projectiles. Tell me this isn't insane, man. Tell me this isn't insane. What's the green one at the top? Show me! And then the nodes, I think, are just regular. Like, what do the nodes say? Yeah, +2 attack. I think the nodes at the end might be really interesting. Oh, yeah, like this one. Special ability projectiles, so ability, +20 damage, -40% MP regeneration. Blood transfusion, use health to cast spells when out of mana. Isn't that fucking sick? +111% HP regeneration, -60% MP. Passive, become immune to all debuffs. Become immune to all buffs. Isn't it so interesting? It's so cool. Look at this. This was another augment. Upon hitting an enemy with a projectile, 5% chance to spawn a fast-moving needle at either side of them. These needles will fire off instantly, dealing 1,050 damage, which scales with your attack stats. And by the way, this realm was groundbreaking. This is way before the realm rework, but this was during the flash times of the realm. So this realm, even though it looks maybe a bit dated, Deca Games probably took a lot of notes from this, because this is eerily similar to the current realm, honestly. And look, there's a whole market area, so this game was gonna have marketplace from the get-go, just like old school RuneScape, and this was in 2021. But yeah, to get to the marketplace, you go through here, and to get to the forge area, it's so hot, man. It was so hot. Plus 200% maximum HP, -30% speed, -50% dex, -30% attack. And like, there were some weapons and skills that would scale off your HP, so that's why you would want to use this. This is another cool boss. I just skipped through all the boss fights so you guys can see. I've been dwelling on this one quite a lot. See the dodge? Oh my god, he spawned on me. I nexus. I'm almost done. I'm almost done talking about this game. It's too cool. It's too cool. I can't not talk about it. And let me explain why this game actually ended its production. The developers weren't taking any, like, I don't know why, but the developers refused to take any, like, crowdfunding, you know what I mean? So they were doing all the development out of pocket while not working. And then at some point, one of the main devs actually got a job at Riot Games. From that point, basically, they couldn't develop anymore. So sad, because this would have been amazing. But yeah, I think I talked about this one more than enough. I even forgot they were doing an Iceberg video. Deca owns real-world trading sites. This is more so just a rumor. It's a pretty fair rumor, to be honest, because they had so much trouble taking care of bots in the game. But I'm actually going to take Deca's side with this one, because whenever I ask this question on stream, no one can answer it. Does anyone know an MMO that has a decent player base that doesn't have bots? I said it with a decent player base. Unfortunately, Daza doesn't have it, but yeah, you're right, Daza doesn't have bots. I wonder how well Daza would tackle it though, because they have really passionate devs. I have this video on my channel where me and the Deca producer talk about the future of Realm, and basically they acknowledge the rumor that Deca owns the real-world trading sites.
Because there is some feeling that cheaters are interesting for Deca from the business perspective, which is totally wrong. They are harming all terms of, I mean, not only the gameplay and the user experience, also the business side of this. We are looking for ways to fight them. So it's a bit of a complex topic and it has some legal connotations, but we are...
I don't take Deca's side on everything, but I think this is one of them where I gotta say, pretty rough for them. Starbreak. Starbreak is another interesting game, because Starbreak is one of the games that is made by another one of the Realm developers, original Realm developers. So there's two original Realm developers. One is called Alex Carabas, and the other one is called Rob Schillingsberg. Rob Schillingsberg is making Galactic Assault Squad right now, and we've talked about that in the previous Iceberg, so make sure to check that video out. This game is interesting because it's the only side-scroller Realm-like game. I've never actually played this game. I might still play this. This is what it looks like. So yeah, this is made by one of the original Realm devs, and it was quite a cluster. Can't really tell what's going on half the time. I don't know how any of these players can. Yeah, it does look similar to Maple Story, you're right. One day I do want to play this because somehow this game actually has a cult following. 24-hour peak 150 players? That's the most out of any Realm-like game. Wait, it's only climbing? That is actually crazy. This is the only Realm-like with a climbing... I mean, I don't even classify this as a Realm-like because it's not top-down. But, like, this game hasn't been updated in, like, 10 years. And it has a climbing player base. That is... How are people discovering this game to even start playing it? Oh, a Pentract Tower Ultra. Does anyone know what Pentract Tower Ultra is? What's more recently known as the Decaract is basically a 10-piece Pentract. You can find it in Mad God Mayhem now, but for a limited time it actually was in the Realm, and it was called Pentract Tower Ultra. This is what it was, and people really didn't like it. I don't know why people didn't like it, but maybe it's because if you were like solo, it was really cringe. But yeah, that's about it for that one. Next, Amulet of Zombification. A lot of you probably know what that is. Most of you. Haley, before the ring that you're hunting for now existed, in the previous form, it actually used to make you into a zombie. Yeah, at least this used to be the sprite for it. This is a video of someone intentionally dying with it, so they would kill AFK players with the zombie. This is actually crazy that was in Realm, that you used to become a zombie. This probably is the most unique item in Realm of the Mad God ever. I killed my high school friend with it. Too troll. Too troll. Second layer down, now we go into the third layer. And the first thing we have, Spryfox. A lot of people know about Wild Shadow, Kabam, and some of you guys might know about Deca Games, but Spryfox was actually the fourth developer of Realm of the Mad God. They actually worked alongside Wild Shadow at the end of Wild Shadow's development. Co-developer of Realm of the Mad God alongside Wild Shadow Studios from 2010 to 2012 until the end. And they did a bunch of stuff for the game, but yeah, I'm not sure what exactly they did. But it does say it was brought on to work on the design, art, UI, and business-related matters for the game. Wild Shadow stopped development for Realm, and they were really happy to sell to Kabam. Probably money was a big factor, but one of the other reasons was it's really hard for a indie studio to scale, especially a live service game. So that's why they brought them on, I imagine, to help them scale the game. Next thing, SWATsec arrested. You guys probably know about SWATsec. This is more of a rumor. I'm not sure if it's proven. I think it's like 99% proven. A lot of you guys might know about the SWATsec massacre, that event where heaps of people died. The person that actually hacked Realm of the Mad God and did that massacre was actually one of the members of the Lizard Squad. It's an infamous group that actually brought down the PlayStation Network for a couple of days. And they actually ended up getting charged. And yeah, apparently this is a leaked picture of the guy. So I can see why he did stuff like this. Next thing, we have LOD lag. Lair of Draconis lag was something that existed in the old version of Lair of Draconis. Basically, what would happen in old LOD is it would lag for a few seconds. It would only exist in this dungeon for some weird reason. But people would lag for a few seconds and so many people would die at the same time. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this. See, it's lagging. It's lagging. It's lagging. It's lagging. And then pop goes the weasel. Oh, see, he doesn't even get hit by anything. Look, it doesn't get hit by anything. This didn't hit him, by the way. But it gets worse than that. And look, this is a shorter lag as well. Look at this.
I died! We all died.
What the f?
Yeah, I don't know why it was exclusive to this. Like, I don't know much about tech, but like, it's just so weird. HP pots for gold. Many people might not know about this anymore. I think this only existed in Flash era, but you used to be able to buy HP pots for gold. See, this guy was out of HP pots, and every time he pressed his health pot button, it would consume realm gold to actually buy more HP pots. And it wasn't 5 gold per time, it would actually double each time. Yeah, so it would go 5, 10, 20, 40. You could disable it, which I don't know why he did, because if he did it by accident, I would be pissed if I did it by accident. You could actually disable it, but yeah, it was quite silly. It was actually so troll. And something interesting about this game is this game didn't always have HP pot slots. The only reason why this was added was by Kabam to sell you this feature where you could buy more HP slots. Hey, next one! Steambirds. This is yet another Realm-inspired game that is one of the most interesting ones in my opinion. This game was actually a Realm-like game that was based on planes. And it looked really nice. I never actually got to try this game. This is what it used to look like. It actually looks pretty cool. I wish I gave it a try. I forgot about the unique features of this game. Oh, this is Talwar playing it, BigCuriBox. This is a video from his channel. But yeah, this is the Nexus, and you could like upgrade stuff. Hangar to switch planes, that's the character slot switcher. This is the Realm Close, like the Oryx equivalent. And the reason why this game died, I mean, I think this game was reducing in players anyway. But I think the main reason why the game died was because they actually got rid of permadeath. They had the same monetization complaints apparently. Super fun game, super scummy monetization. I generally want to support developers but can't in good conscience, blah 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 blah. $7.5 for an extra hangar slot? That's cheaper than Realms was. I feel like that's not even that bad. I feel like that's not even that bad. Slash Nexus tutorial. The Slash Nexus tutorial was another part of the tutorial. This was one of the Nexus tutorials. There was, I couldn't find a version for the Kabam one, because there was a bigger one. Yeah, basically it would just tell you everything about the Nexus. And they need to add arrows pointing to the realm because of the new player issues that I showcased in one of my latest videos where it took 5 minutes for someone to find out how to start playing the game once they entered Nexus. And I remember that this would be a way to get into full realms. The Slash Nexus tutorial. It would allow you to bypass the queue, basically. Okay, next one. Mofro's domestic violence. I've seen this appear in too many icebergs that I had to include it in this one. Mofro's used to be the top streamer of Realm of the Mad God before I started streaming. He got accused of domestic violence by one of his former partners. In America, you can't actually, you can accuse anyone of anything and then you can like get arrested and then you get mugshot. So he had a mugshot and everything, but he has a video talking about this for how long? 40 minutes. If anyone cares, I doubt anyone cares. He still kept streaming after this, by the way, but he was receiving a lot of harassment. I can't imagine him doing this. He seemed like a good guy. He had like 3 partners after this with no issues. No, it was never proven. It was never proven. If I had to make a bet, I would say that it was a false accusation, but I got no idea. First, in the 4th layer, we're gonna talk about the famous players of Realm of the Mad God. You guys probably all know about Markiplier, which is probably the most famous player that ever played Realm. He played it once, thanks to his friend. 2 million view video. But there was a lot of other really popular players, really big time people that you might not know, and I'll go through them really quickly. We had Dizzy. I'm pretty sure he used to get tens of thousands of viewers streaming Apex Legends. I think he's known as like the best Apex Legends player ever. Another person is Zekken. Zekken is one of the most well-known Valorant players. Zekken used to be someone that used to watch the stream a lot, and he actually donated $500 to a charity stream that I did, my first ever charity stream. Not to brag, but we've raised over $25,000 to charity through this community alone. Zekken cleared Umi. He cleared every dungeon in the game. Another person that played this game was Lyric. He only played it once, and what's it called? It's so funny because he got dragged on in Lost Halls. This is a video of him getting dragged on in Lost Halls.
I didn't know there was mechanics! Oh, shit!
Another popular streamer that played Realm, Cobalt Streak, the second biggest Binding of Isaac streamer. This is a video of his Realm experience before he permaquitted. Dude, he was so goated. He actually almost finished a Dharma blind first try.
More?
Look at this bull, man. I can't wait for this to get a rework. This is so dumb.
What?
You guys might know Drutut, the League streamer. He gets thousands. Oh, he's streaming right now to 3.2 thousand people. He plays Realm, or he played a lot of Realm, and we actually did a duo Realm collab. We did a duo, and he actually streamed it from his end. This is him streaming our Realm collab from his end, which was such a crazy stream. I think this went pretty under the radar. And yeah, he's flaming about Discords.
A woman for the first time when they went grocery shopping. Fatality.
Another person, Vsauce. Vsauce played Realm.
Realm of the Mad God, an incredible MMO I've only barely started to play, but the game is rich and easy to learn.
Another streamer that played this game, Jason the Ween. Just him talking about how he used to play.
I played Realm of the Mad God.
Another person, Woody, Risk of Rain 2 streamer.
Realm of the Mad God. Oh, what happened to you? What happened to you? Realm of the Mad God, when it first came out on Steam, was cooking. It was cooking, dude. Gosh, what happened to this game? Oh, I played so much Realm of the Mad God. I have 200 hours in this game, and all of it was for its initial period.
This game wasn't always on Steam, so he maybe had way more hours before it got on Steam, you know what I mean? Because it sounds like he's very OG if he's talking about the monetization of the game.
Back when freaking Kale was the top player, back when everyone was doing new player experiences on rogues and stuff like that. Dude, that was the golden age of Realm of the Mad God. It was so good.
4 more people, Bucky, Benji Fishy, Macwood, and Zexero, big Fortnite streamers. And what's it called? Benji Fishy is still a big Valorant streamer. One of the best players of Valorant, apparently. We carried them through their first 03. Look what we did. I pulled together a lot of my Realm friends. They basically all quit by this point. But yeah, Realm players used to be so much pro on average. And I got a lot of them, including Flo Florian. And we carried them through their first 03 because we did this.
Bro, why am I still sicking, bro?
Oh, yeah, I've been taking so long. Must stay second for another.
Please, bro!
Oh,
no!
No!
Bro, why was
Oh, no! What do we have next? We have Lost Halls 1.0. Lost Halls 1.0 is so different to current Lost Halls, and I would say in bad ways. The main thing about Lost Halls 1.0, which was so crazy, there were so many things to talk about this dungeon. It was so dumb. First of all, the rooms was a lot smaller. The art style was a lot more cringe. Oh, there was no transparency during this time, by the way. The mobs would respawn. You would have to leave people in rooms in order to keep going forward. Another really interesting about Lost Halls 1.0 was that there was an enemy in in the dungeon. It would target priests. It would literally target priests. So it would go invisible. It would stand in the group. And the only way you would know it was in the group was if you saw a red dot on the minimap, and it would literally target priests and try to kill them. And it would do enough damage that it could insta-kill them. That's the enemy. So he would go into the group. He would try to go invisible. And he would try to kill a priest. But you could paralyze him. That's the main way they dealt with him. Oh, dude, look. This is the map of Lost Halls 1.0. Holy shit. So this is current Lost Halls, and this is old Lost Halls. Another notable thing about Lost Halls, the old one, is that instead of there being a marble defender, there was just a bunch of blocks.
Hey guys, what is?
Ah, Bikuri Box jump scare. This is what used to be a marble defender. It was just these breakable blocks. Do you see? This was so cursed, man. I actually did not play this dungeon that much because I didn't like it. Another interesting thing about this dungeon, which sucked, is that there was no HP scaling. So there was only a flat amount of health for every enemy and boss. So the only way that you could clear this is by stacking a fuckload of players like this. You could still get this dungeon from the Sentry from the Realm, but good luck clearing it. I don't know if anyone ever did a Lost Halls 1.0 from the fucking Sentry. But the Marble Colossus wasn't too different. It just, it stopped after the survival phase. But the interesting thing about the survival phase is that there were no coins. You just had to live for an amount of time. So this was the survival phase. And the pop rocks, they didn't target you. Like, they didn't move. They just went straight. And they did more damage than they do now. There was no player cap in Lost Halls 1.0. You used to have to clear 5 pot rooms in this big dungeon to get a cold. And not only that, but did you guys know you had to manually drag back the flame? It didn't automatically go back to the Titan. You had to manually drag back a flame. While dealing with respawning enemies, respawning rooms, and people used to often troll the flame draggers to prevent them from dragging back. I don't know why people played this, man. I don't know what the dev of this dungeon was thinking. There was a rumor that the dev behind this dungeon was against PvE mode because it was elitist. And then they made this a raid group only dungeon. You couldn't do this dungeon without a raid group. What do we have next? Wangle Line. Wangle Line was the person that composed most of the soundtracks for Realm. But there was a massive controversy because the only thing that Wangle Line wanted when she was making stuff for the game, like, she didn't even want to get paid. She only wanted to get a shout out on the, you know, the Hall of Fame in the Nexus? This Hall of Fame was something that was meant to be a benefit for supporting the Realm of the Mad God Exalt campaign. Dude, it doesn't even work. That's one thing that she wanted to shout out. She also wanted dynamic music changing. And they agreed to both those things, but it actually never got implemented. The only thing she wanted. So she ended up getting fed up. She ended up quitting for Deco. And yeah, scumbag move by Deco, promising those things and not actually delivering. She got a lot of support. For some reason, on the tail end of it, people were against Wangle Line somehow. How the f*** people took Deck aside, even after they had a really garbage response. This is after they promised to add the dynamic music changing, by the way. They said it was too hard to add. It was deprioritized as we had to make tough choices. We're a small team, blah, blah, blah. These credits didn't appear in-game until blah, blah, blah. I don't think I ever saw credits for Wangle Line on the Wall of Fame. We only implemented the credits with the official release of Exalt. This was never promised to be any earlier. Fail on our part, blah, blah, blah. They didn't even give an excuse for this one. RotMG art tool. There used to be a Realm developer, I think it was made by Wild Shadow, and it was basically a way for people to make sprites for Realm, because they had a bunch of skin competitions, and I even used this a bunch, because yeah, I'll show you some of the competitions they had for the game. Oh, I made some stuff for this. My sprite was probably garbage as f***, but let's check it out. Could be worse. I'm not even a spriter, could be worse. I don't actually hate it that much. Okay, that's pretty good animation. Oryx on the beach. Guys, did you guys know that Oryx, initially, before he used to appear in his lair, he actually used to spawn on the beach? This is so old, look at this. But yeah, that is the first thing, that was the first place that Oryx used to spawn. He's basically on the beach. I don't know how new players dealt with this. And I think this actually was basically Oryx 2. So before Oryx 1 used to exist, Oryx 2 used to spawn on the beach. It's like a more similar to Oryx 2 sort of deal. But yeah, there's not much more to say about this. This is a very OG Realm. You can see how old this is, no player outlines, this UI, no consumable slots. This guy has 2 rings equipped, by the way. Okay, next we have RotMG paintings. This one I find super interesting. I could talk about this for ages. Here we have the Pirate Cave paintings. Here we have the Shadows paintings. And here we have the Deadwater Docks paintings. And here we have the Spec Pen paintings. Let's go through them a bit. There's other dungeons with paintings like Manor of the Immortals, but they literally, like that one's just a default one. But yeah, let's go through some of these. I won't go through the Spec Pen, the Deadwater Docks ones, and the Shadows ones too much. They're pretty not that deep. You can see this one's a reference to that meme. The Spec Pen is basically just a bunch of memes as their paintings. There's some pictures of developers and spriters that worked on the dungeon. The Deadwater Docks ones, yeah, you can tell that this is based on the Scream. I don't know what the this is supposed to be. I think it's meant to be the Sonic meme. I'm guessing that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah, the Amulet painting. Amulet in the game that we talked about in the first Iceberg that used to actually bring you back to life. And then we have the Shadows paintings, which honestly aren't too interesting. There's Talwa and Yin-Yon. But guys, the best paintings is actually the Pirate Cave paintings. These are interesting as I love these so much. Okay, first we have Hermit God, not that interesting. Second we have Ghost Ship, not that interesting. Third is Oryx. Fourth is Forgotten King. Fifth is the Void. Sixth, this one's Wild Shadow logo. This one, okay, this one is niche as fuck. What do you guys think this is? It's so dumb. It's a reference to a specific painting of the cemetery. This is meant to be the Huntress, and these 3 pixels are meant to be Skuld, with these 2 pixels each meant to be a grave each. Then we have the Mysterious Crystal. I think it's just Deadwater Docks, like old Deadwater Docks maybe. This is Old Ivory Dragon. This is Mad Lab, obviously. Everyone can figure that out. This is what's it called? Dirk of Cronus. This one is a reference to Silex. This skin is very strongly tied to a dev because it used to be an admin-only skin for a dev called Silex. Then we have the stack shots of Woodland Labyrinth. I wonder if we can find it.
Maybe Birmingham if you want the fucking book.
Take my word for it. Take my word for it. Take my word for it. There's the Oryx on the beach that I was talking about. Pop quiz. Does anyone know the reference of this one? It is Trickster, but it's much more specific than that. It's a reference to this video, Pro as Heck Guide to Trickster. Basically, it's just a meme video about Trickster, and yeah, it's holding the items from the video. Pop quiz, anyone got this one? Yeah, this is the Alchemist. Let me see, I did cover this in the first Realm of the Mad God Iceberg, the Alchemist. Yeah, so you would open it up, you would go up here where the daily quest is, and you would play the Alchemist. This was before any. Oh, and it's also playing on realmofthemadgod.com. Let's go. Yeah, it is PiePocket is. But yeah, this is the first ever. Dude, look at these insane drops. Holy Snake Pit Key, a fusion of life. Let's go. This spooky boy. This is a picture of a spooky boy and a priest, and it's from an iconic realm picture. Is it gone? This iconic picture. And then we have the last one. Does anyone know the reference of this one? This one's the most niche one. Yeah, this was a popular YouTube meme back in the day. I don't know why, but this is literally the reference. Modern Golden Archer Pack. I don't know why people still talk about the Golden Archer Pack when there's been much worse, insane ones. I will show you. There was a pack when seasonal mode was brand new, and basically it would give you a tier 11 set for like 2,000 Rome gold. That's basically what it was. And if you equate it, like if you draw back the power creep, it's basically a more insane thing. This is a better version of it. I think this is tier 12 weapon, tier 6 ability, tier 6 ring, tier 12 armor, 3 golden clovers, some other stuff for $20. I think that's $20. Yeah, it's really weird that this had 55% off because this was never sold anywhere, and technically it's illegal in some parts of the world to say things have a discount when they never appeared before, you know? I mean, this is insane if you look at it. Mad Minotaur set for 11,000 Rome gold, almost $100. Man, I'm scared of what we're going to see deeper in this iceberg, especially what the hell is the secret sheep level and Henez's secret channel? I thought it was done with YouTube. But before we go further, I just want to give a big shout out to those who support me the most, my subscribers on Twitch, YouTube members, and Patreon. If you've found that I've made a positive impact on your life with my content, consider supporting because it will keep me around for longer and I'll be able to make even more content. Now let's delve deeper. Okay, next one. Does anyone remember what golden shards are? I wonder if any of you guys remember, because I feel like I could have put this lower. So there was 3 items in the game that you could actually put on the Helm of the Juggernaut, or the Quiver of Thunder, or the
Orb of Conflict.
So you can put the golden shard on the jug. This guy's using a jug and it would give it a visual effect. That's all it was. I mean, I think it's really cool. And this one was the one for Quiver of Thunder. When you used it, it would give yourself an electric shock. These are extremely rare now. Yeah, this one you would give on Orb of Conflict. This one was cool. It would spawn a skull. Okay, next one. Next we have Japan. If it wasn't for Japan, I probably wouldn't be making Realm content nowadays. Japan is my top pick for the best player in Realm of the Mad God history. And he didn't even try to flex. He's never tried to glaze himself to other people, unlike me. People just know how fucking OP this guy is. He's been consistently one of the first players to do everything in the game. There used to be speedrun leaderboards. It only happened twice. He got second in the Parasite Chambers. He was one of the first players, if not the first one, to get the legendary fishing rod from Moonlight Village. He was the 3rd person to get fully exalted in Realm of the Mad God. He might have been the first person to finish solo hard mode Shudders. He got his first hard mode crown on the 1st of April. This is the day that Shudders came out, hard mode Shudders. So he did a solo clear the day after the dungeon came out. And by the way, he was only posting, oh my god, he was only posting this to a small Discord of friends. He wasn't like gloating or anything. You know how I mentioned that he never uploaded videos himself of him doing goated stuff? He had a friend that did. So yeah, this video was legendary. The first ever duo of Void. You can never imagine how legendary this was unless you were here for this. Because Void used to be so much harder. And this wasn't testing, by the way, which makes it so much more sick. This is them winning a competition, RotMG Tomb speed run event. This is the 2nd rarest item in the game, and it was for a speedrun competition. And I think he even got an Abyssal trophy. Yeah, he did, see? Oh, whenever I played with Japan, by the way, he rushed every dungeon without asking, flawlessly. So yeah, here's my pick for the best player in Realm of the Mad God history. The end. Void Emperor. The Void Emperor is a entity that was spawned by a dev in an admin arena once. It's pretty troll. This thing. It might be an early concept for reworked Lost Halls or a hard mode Lost Halls. I hope hard mode Lost Halls comes out in the future. But yeah, it's just a stupid enemy. Oh wait, actually I do remember why it was added. I think it was actually added into the game files to throw data miners off. Because you know how people data mine to try to find Easter eggs and stuff? I think it was literally added to troll the data miners from devs. Yeah, see, this boss was created and exists solely to troll data miners. Okay, next on the iceberg. Next on the iceberg. We're over halfway, guys. We have grave looting. Let's go grave looting. You used to be able to loot people's graves when they used to die. Kind of like in RuneScape. Wait, can you still do that in RuneScape? You used to be able to. So I think someone's gonna die soon. And yeah, there's Kraken, and you can see the gear drop on the floor. In an earlier version of Oryx, you can see so many loot bags on the floor, and that's cause of all the deaths. You see, there's 2 brown bags, there's another brown bag. This used to be the hardest boss in the game, so that's why there's so many deaths. I still remember getting a free tier 11 dagger when some rogue died in a UDO. Good times. Other NPCs. There's a bunch of NPCs in the game right now. They've been added quite frequently when Exalt came out. Before Exalt, there was only the Alchemist, the Daily Quest, the Calendar Man, Bill the Wizard, and I think Gil existed, but there's actually quite a few more. Yeah, Princess was one. Let's start with the Princess. This is the oh, and the sprite is gone. Okay. She just talked to you a bit, basically.
Can damage her. Her behavior is also very weird. She does respect social distancing, so that's something. Her existence is probably a reference to either Zelda or Peach, and I can only wonder
yeah, she didn't really do anything.
Would have been. Maybe a captive in Oryx's lair, perhaps a quest in game, maybe a hostile NPC undercover. Like
this one's she's not as interesting because she didn't really do anything. I don't know if this guy did anything either. Oh wait, 1 minute in. 1 minute in is another NPC called Jeeves. He gave her tips. I think he gave tips at the beginning of some dungeons.
But he was meant to stand in the Mat Lab. Here he would answer questions for the players if they had anything on their mind.
Yeah.
One of his voice lines.
Honestly, this guy would be you know how I keep saying that there should be a guide in Realm of the Mad God? There should be something like this.
To be added.
And
if
then
the player typed how to get to Oryx, he would reply, in order to enter Oryx's lair, you need to slay enough monsters in a realm. This will anger Oryx and he will summon you to his lair.
Thanks for the tip. And then there was another one called Nexus Cryo. The Nexus Cryo was an NPC who stood at the entrance of Nexus in 2012 to 2013. His purpose was to shout update information throughout the Nexus. I think that's better than the signpost. This NPC is interesting.
Like a pirate day in the Pirate Buddy, an entity that was introduced in the game for only 1 day in prod.
Only 1 day, and basically all he did was like he would chase you.
Changes in between the different pirates, so he has no consistent sprite. How he acts is an entire different story. If you know Gil from the Guild Hall,
I know him.
Pirate Buddy is a bit like him. By saying certain keywords, you can make the pirates do things like follow you, dance, drink, and you can
he's just meant to be a dumb NPC.
So many things. Here's a list of all of these different things you can say.
And then this is another one. It's the guild pet. I forgot what this guy did. I think it's another guild sort of thing. But yeah, big shout out to this channel called Calcium. He's so underrated.
The guild pet was an NPC meant to stay in your guild hole.
So basically, an early version of guild.
Jeeps, the princess, and the pirate buddy were being developed. The guild pet was also a side.
I wish I had a picture of Nexus Cryo.
That never got so far in the development phase that it made it into prod. The current sprite for the guild pet is a sheep, so we can only assume that
it doesn't
was
have
the
it?
original intent. As you can see performed on screen, you could say different commands to the guild pet, and it would act accordingly.
Yeah, this is very basic. Oh, Nexus Cryo had the same sprite as the NPC guy from Guildhall. Oh, I can trust Blood Queen. Blood Queen is so OG. Okay, next one. We have Pets Saved RotMG. This is a controversial take, because pets in Realm of the Mad God are in history in general, they're quite widely hated. They probably led to the biggest exodus of players in Realm of the Mad God history. But the interesting thing is that this might actually be true that pets saved Realm, because Realm had a very poor monetization model before, and Kabam just shoehorned pets in, which potentially could have saved Realm of the Mad God. And this is not only a take that I kind of have, but the original developer of Realm of the Mad God said he might think this is the case as well. Was Wild Shadow happy with Kabam's purchase, or was it bittersweet? Especially after seeing how little effort they poured into the game after the acquisition.
From a certain point of view, yeah, we were definitely happy with the purchase, because like I said, we wanted to move on to new projects. Unless if we have to, continue to maintain and update Realm, then that's not going to happen. Or if we just let Realm sit around and we didn't update and maintain it, then Realm would die, because without new content, people would drift away. So from that point of view, we were very happy to sell it, because we needed to. It was time for us. But then from a health of the game perspective, I understand that people were like, oh no, Kabam, those guys, they blew the whole thing and they were terrible at it. I would kind of say the opposite, because like I say, we were not really equipped to take the game to the next level. Temperamentally, we were not equipped to do it. And they were. It was a good place to hold on to the game and continue to pour some resources into it. Now, did they do the right thing? That I don't know. Some have argued that the introduction of pets by Kabam was what saved the game financially, but I have no insight into whether that's true. But, then the subsequent sale to Deca, the game is still around. How many years? It's been 13 years since we started working on it, and it's still around.
I mean, he didn't outright say he thinks it, but vaguely. Okay, next we have Yummy Yummy Pack. This is another classic pack, 1,000,000 times worse than Golden Archer pack, 1,000,000 times. Let me show you why. So, this was a pack for pet feed power, not intentionally, but it was literally wrong. It says 78% off, and it says it costs 5,700 normally, but it actually doesn't. The total original cost is 2,480, not 5,700. It actually isn't 78% off, and I can vouch that this existed in the game, because I was one of the idiots that fell for this. The only people that got compensated were people that saw the Deca community manager post... Oh, here. Hello everyone, we are sorry for this. It was a really honest mistake caused by us using the wrong builder for the pack, and we fixed it immediately after we noticed it. We've taken measures to ensure this doesn't happen again. But there was another Reddit post somewhere, I don't know where they said, if you see this comment, you can get a refund. So the only people that would have gotten a refund for the Yummy Yummy pack were the ones that saw the comment on a very low-key Reddit post, and they sent a support ticket about it. Oh, we're going down a layer now. Secret sheep level. The secret sheep level, something that was rumored to be in the game forever, but never proven. The only reason players found out about this was because they actually messaged one of the previous developers of the game called P. He was responsible for making the OG Realm of the Mad God realms. It was just an endless sheep level, I think. It was the sheep backrooms. This is a reference to the Diablo cow level, the secret cow level. A lot of you guys might know about this. It's just a very well-known thing. Now let me ask you, do you guys know what the rarest tradable item in the Realm of the Mad God is? Yeah, V-Kick. It's the numbered HP pots. In Realm of the Mad God, you can get HP potions that have numbers associated with them. I only know one person that I could message to get me video evidence of this. But yeah, look, this guy was a crazy merchant in Realm of the Mad God. He was also in my guild, Just Some Guild. Look at this. He had a full set of them. This is worth, I think he said he bought them for like 400 Deca rings. No, I gotta check. Hold on. He sold a set of these for 4,500 Deca rings. The reason why these are in the game is there was some error with some items and they turned into HP pots or something. Let me find it exactly. I forgot the explanation. Here we go. The issue that was bugged was that mobs that dropped HP pots like in Oryx Castle were dropping these and they were not supposed to. Something like that. Something like that. I'm taking this random Reddit comments word for it 12 years ago. But let's get into alternate stars. You might have already caught this in the video. But yeah, basically before there were stars in the game, it went through some transformation. So first, there was no stars or badges at all, as seen in this video. Then they had badges like this. These battlefield army rank badges. This does not fit Rome at all, Imo. Yeah, see, this is the full screen of them. So you'd go up the bronze ranks and up the steel ranks and up the gold ranks and up the platinum ranks. You can see the White Star inspiration. These are the current ones now. You can see the Realm wiki slaves are on it very quickly. But something very interesting is that there was one other interesting thing about Realm badges in this game, and that's the fact that we talked about rifts in the previous Deca Iceberg, and it's actually the fact that you can actually get a border around them if you won this Rifts challenge. This was meant to be permanent, but it only existed up until Flash ended. Basically, if you got the top ranks, if you were one of the highest ranks in this Rifts mode, you got these borders around your star. Okay, next! Spawning admin items. In the last Iceberg, we talked about how one of the admins accidentally gave other players admin items, which got quickly fixed. It's not actually that. In the OG days of Realm of the Mad God, people were able to obtain admin items. This is a very, very old video of the item spawning exploit. Back when the HP MP holder was introduced, Cheat Engine was used to edit the items that were purchased from these slots. People spawned in tier 14 gear, gold medals, America rings, anything and everything from items to things that shouldn't have made it into their inventory. So that's why he had a admin sword and a crown. Pretty crazy, so he's just gonna insta-kill everything. Okay, next! This is what's it called? This is another conspiracy theory, and that is that Deca is Kabam. Or at least that they have strong links. And I can say that they have extremely strong links. Because if you didn't know, the person that actually founded Deca Games is actually an ex-Kabam employee. And not only that, his other flex was that he worked at EA Games. Which is two things that you shouldn't be flexing. But yeah, this is him, Ken Go. He's the founder and CEO of Deca Games from 2016. Prior, he had various positions at Kabam. Ken then became the Senior Director of Monetization from December 2011 to April 13. And as an Associate Producer at Electronic Arts from June 2006 to 2007. So, I mean, Deca obviously isn't Kabam, but they're actually very closely linked. Next! We have class differences. Peep these. First class difference. You might see this priest has a shield. Do you see this priest has a shield? Another visual difference before we go into item differences is that knights had no shield. Look. So this priest stole your shield. Isn't that troll? What the hell did the knight do wrong? He's a priest with a wand, a spell tome, and 2 rings. It wasn't exactly a spell. It was basically a resprited tome. But yeah, I'm not sure if priests could use damage spells back in the day. So here's a light healing spell. A priest spell that could heal everyone around you. Here is a major heal spell, and here's a divine heal spell. Here is a wizard with a wand, a spell, and 2 rings, which is troll. Look at this. Yeah, this is the old sorcerer ability. Look at this. The sorcerer ability used to be sprited like this. Pretty damn ugly. There's one more thing that I want to show you. One more class difference in the old days. Paladins used to have tomes in this game. Do paladins have a shield now? Why do I feel like this isn't the sprite? We'll start the last layer, the most cursed and obscure ones. First one, we're gonna talk about Homies of Mars band. Homies of Mars was a pretty big YouTuber for Realm back in the day, but barely anyone would know him now. Does anyone here know him? He's a very OG Realm YouTuber, and he actually commented on my YouTube videos quite a bunch. But yeah, all of his videos are from like 12 years old. But the crazy thing is that he actually got banned from Realm. When Exalt came out, Deca was doing all these ban waves to trying to ban people for IP connecting, which is a cheat where you could directly connect into realms, and so many people got caught by these bans that may have been legit. Like, for example, this guy says he was legit. I kind of trust him, to be honest. The only backend developer for Darza's Dominion said he actually got caught in one of these ban waves, and like, Deca, trust me. I mean, you don't even have to trust me. I've got a video going through Deca's false bans. I just can't imagine this guy cheating, but his account is gone skis, so yeah. Okay, next one. We'll talk about Hennes's secret channel in a moment, but let's first talk about Hennes still being alive. He's still alive, if you guys believe it or not. But the really cool thing is he actually is still a stream visitor, at least, and a Realm player, somewhat. Oh, maybe not a Realm player, but he's been playing Realm on the down low. Started like last week. Yeah, always got my radar on Realm of the Mad God in the background, can never truly leave it. So even though his last videos were over 10 years ago, he's still watching over us. Isn't he beautiful? Okay, and now we can move on to Hennes's secret channel. Guys, Hennes actually has another channel, most likely. Most likely. I need you guys to hear this man's voice. I need you to hear his voice. Are you ready?
Hey, what's cracking, gamers? It's late night Hennes here. Haven't done a recording for a few days. I've been doing lots of random stuff. Very minor things that aren't really enough to warrant a video by themselves. I'll just delete the file here and I'll play as I've been doing. And then this test scene plays out as... yeah.
You guys got a feel for his voice. And now this is his supposed new channel. Look at this, guys. He's got a video. He's got a fucking YouTube channel, most likely, on Australian birds. And it's actually doing really well. Oh, it's doing pretty well. By the way, this guy is also Australian and from Queensland, like Hennes.
Are you tempted to plunge upon your enemies from great heights? Then you might have something in common with the Australian magpie. These flying Oreos are known for their complex harmonies, but they're smart cookies too, able to recognize over 100 different human faces. In this video, we're going to learn a little bit about these creatures and why they're considered to be one of Australia's most iconic birds.
The only reason why I picked up on this is because I checked the Realm Reddit way too much, and there was an obscure Reddit post where it asked, "Is this Hennes?" And I checked through his comments. What's up, Hennes RS? Hennes RS, is that you? Hennes RS, is that you? Are you Hennes RS? That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, a lot of people picked up on it, which is surprising. Okay, next one we have Wacky on Ninja. 28th of June 2018, Samurai public testing ending recently after small update on prod. Wacky ability accidentally leaked to prod. I decided to put on my main ninja since it was equipable. Samurai replaced ninja for testing purposes. Probably was easier than creating a new class for public testing. Shortly after, another patch drop which removed this item altogether. Since the item still contains item ID, I decided to not log in right until Samurai release, hoping that this ID would be matching something at least. So, yeah, look, he's wearing a ring in this slot. He's wearing a ring in this slot, and he has the Wacky. This is how Wacky used to look. And then originally I could use it like a normal ability. After update, removed that item. March 2020, I think this is around the time when Exalt CBT started. Red background is gone. Ability can't be used anymore. So yeah, he was able to use the Samurai ability on Ninja for a while, which is pretty weird. But later on, he was getting DC'd for using it, and then unfortunately, it got removed like automatically or something. This probably only got removed because cheaters were using, like, I'm sure peeps have seen people cheating items into slots they shouldn't be. That's basically what it was. Thanks for listening to my speech. Cussing Canadian banned. Guys, this is crazy. I don't have any images for this, and you're lucky I don't. I can only tell you what happened, but this is extremely niche. Not many people know about it. There's a streamer called Cussing Canadian. He used to stream Realm quite a lot. Has anyone watched him here? Basically, Cussing Canadian, he was fucking crazy because he would get drunk like every stream. I even have a collab stream where we got drunk together, but he got drunk so much faster than me. He got drunk really often, and it wasn't rare that he actually vomited live on stream. Vomit and all, or everything being seen. But that's not the crazy part, because he did this so much and he never got banned. He did it so much. He would pass out on stream, he would vomit on stream, he would do crazy. But once when he got extremely drunk, he actually pulled out his dick and he pissed on stream, and it was visible and everything. And that got him banned on Twitch. Luckily, one of his friends that were watching the stream, they reported his stream right away so that nothing got doxed. And yeah, one of the funny things about this is he was actually a Deca partner when this happened. And not only was he a Deca partner when this happened, he stayed a Deca partner for months after that, until he basically got inactive. Okay, now we got second last one, the chest weapon. Basically, there was a player in the game that had a chest as a weapon. Look, you can see them here. They weren't actually able to use it at all. I think they might still have a vault character. They can't log into it, otherwise it loses the weapon. But basically, this is their explanation. For the chest unlocker, the item was first introduced in a mystery box, so not that many people got it. I remember spending around 600 gold and I got one. When I tried to use or drink the item from the gift chest when you had a full inventory, it had a chance to jump into the first possible equipment slot, even if you had an item there. So it basically ate an item and the item vanished. I remember a few people complaining about it on Reddit, but they unequipped it and they were disappointed they lost the item. That's what Maki said. That's what Maki said. Both the samurai on ninja and the chest on the priest got removed, and it's most likely because of this. Cheaters were able to equip basically any item in any slot, and this is someone using the Bard ability as a main weapon. Are you guys curious on how Oryx committed sexual assault? If you've watched my first Realm of the Mad God Iceberg video, I talked about how Realm of the Mad God was created. There was a, what's it called? A game jam contest where people used this sprite sheet, to make different games. And the Realm of the Mad God wasn't the only game to come from it. This game is another game. Do you see that one in the back? Let's see how this one looks. Too troll. The reason why Oryx committed SA is because the person who actually made this sprite sheet, their name was Oryx. Their name was Oryx. They were a pretty well-known figure behind Realm of the Mad God. And yeah, they actually got a job at Bungie. So they were working on Destiny and stuff. Oryx was working at Destiny. His name was Christopher Barrett, I think. But basically, top director at Bungie was fired after misconduct investigation. And there was actually quite a few women that worked with him that reported him for inappropriate behavior. Him texting them inappropriate things. So yeah, I saw Nevaris said he got framed from apparent false claims. I don't know, why do you think they're false? Because if it's multiple people, I think it's pretty not false at that point, right? Surely not. Thanks so much for watching. Check out my other Iceberg video if you haven't yet, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.